لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك. محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
As part of preparations for the 2019 Hajj exercise, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) has commenced the screening of air carriers for the airlift of pilgrims and their excess luggage.
The service being rendered to us by the airline.
While inaugurating the 32-member committee responsible for the screening exercise in Abuja, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad urged the committee members to discharge their duty diligently and ensure that pilgrims get value for their money.
We should put ourselves in the position of the pilgrims. If we are the pilgrims, shall we accept the service being rendered to us by the airline as value for our money? Are we satisfied? Are we happy? Are we contented? Or there are always room for improvement? I believe in the process, all these issues will be raised by the committee in interfacing with the applicant.
The NAHCON boss called on the air carriers to make plans that will enable tour operators take their pilgrims direct to Saudi Arabia during the Hajj without stopovers in other countries.
My appeal to you people is, don't just look at the volume of passengers under the states. Those 20,000 passengers under the private tour operators, if they will have a firm and committed airline that will dedicate an aircraft for them, I'm sure they will be willing and gladly accept the offer to go with that airline that will conduct a direct flight for them, instead of looking for an aircraft that has to go through a third destination before arriving into Saudi Arabia.
The committee, which is headed by NAHCON Commissioner of Operations Abdullah Modibo Saleh, drew its membership from NAHCON board members, executives of state pilgrims boards, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency (NAMA), Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN), Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET), among others. The airlines that applied to airlift pilgrims for the 2019 Hajj operations are Max Air, Medview, Skyprime, and the Saudi-based Flynas. Those that submitted applications to transport pilgrims' excess luggage include Cargozeal, First Planet, Sokodeke, as well as Medview International Travel and Cargo.
The support to the airlift of pilgrims.
Officials of the airliners have this to say.
We will bring in a lot of innovations, and inshallah the pilgrims will enjoy it.
In a nutshell, we support our pilgrim in other area of logistics in Saudi Arabia, because we are based in Saudi Arabia, and alhamdulillah, that has been an advantage.
The committee is expected to submit its report in a few weeks' time for government approval. Meanwhile, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have perfected plans to start biometric capturing for pilgrims performing the 2019 Hajj. This was disclosed by the Saudi ambassador to Nigeria, Adnan bin Mahmoud Bostaji, during a meeting with NAHCON officials at the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja. He said the capturing will take a period of 6 months.
The system is working from now until middle of Shawwal. Okay. Until middle of Shawwal, that means we have 6 months now from that. They are accepted, and they will say, okay, we will open the system until middle of Shawwal. Okay. I hope we can finish in that time.
Speaking earlier, NAHCON chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Mohammed appreciated the Saudi government for improving its services to pilgrims, saying the commission is working with the state pilgrims boards across the country to plan on how to commence the capturing of those who have registered ahead of time.
We will advise those in Abuja, in Kano, in Lagos to start reporting to the biometric centers. And we'll appeal those like in Sokoto and other places, also the centers should be activated. Just like the mobile one you did for us the other time, where we have 300 and the 300 are ready. We'll alert you that this state they are ready and the people can go there and capture them. One day they are done with that. And we are also pleased to hear the good news about the effort we've made with the Umrah biometric as well, so that it will be 2 years affair. This will really solve a lot of problem to the Umrah visitors.
The Saudi government has made biometric capturing mandatory before the issuance of visa for Hajj or Umrah.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is currently executing various projects in Hajj camps across the country. The focus is to upgrade the existing facilities and build new ones. The ongoing projects at the camps are constructing ultra-modern hospitals, building pilgrims' accommodation, rehabilitation or construction of mosques, and the provision of toilets, among other facilities. These infrastructural developments are being carried out with monies accrued from the Hajj Development levy. The idea of the Hajj Development came on stream in 2012, following a meeting of key Hajj stakeholders in Nigeria. This was sequel to the discovery that Hajj camps across the country are bedeviled with the problem of accommodation for pilgrims during Hajj exercises.
We had noticed the kind of hardships pilgrims encounter at the transit camps on their way out of this country, and so it was decided that to reduce or ameliorate these hardships, they said, okay, let's try and get the transit camps developed, because before now there were no established, in some places there were no even established transit camps. Some will convert maybe a primary school or some structures, and some say that will be used like a temporary something. So the commission, in conjunction with the state pilgrims welfare boards and agencies, came up with this, and it's been adhered to.
The levy is built in Hajj fares payable by pilgrims registering to go for the Hajj from Nigeria. The initial amount was 5,000, but it was reduced to 3,000 per pilgrim.
It is normally lumped when an intending pilgrim is paying for his Hajj fare. We normally lump it together, and later on we sort it out in the office.
The essence of that levy is to enable the commission utilize that money to develop certain facility that will be beneficial to the pilgrims, and the pilgrims that will come after those pilgrims that have paid that development levy. As the issue of the levy is concerned, each state that has intending pilgrims must pay that development levy. It means that any intending pilgrim that's going must pay that development levy.
The money saved through the Hajj Development levy is domiciled in a special account with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN.
All government accounts now are in the central bank. The money is not kept at the office, it's normally kept at the central bank, just as any other money for the government, or rather like any other revenue collected. It is normally kept at the Central Bank of Nigeria.
For the benefit of Nigerian pilgrims, the levy is expected to be used for maintenance of Hajj camps in states and the FCT.
What we do, we look at each state in its own light. You know, we look at what is required at that particular camp. You know, the problems are not uniform. If you look at maybe the Hajj camp in Kaduna, their problem might be the accommodation. If you look at the other camp, maybe say in Lagos or in Ilorin, their problem might be they need maybe a mosque for intending pilgrims to conduct their religious activities on their way to perform the Hajj. So the problems are not uniform.
Supervision of the projects entails us as a department, staff from here, and staff from the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, the relevant department. There are field offices in the states where we have those projects, as well as our staff in the zonal offices. Those are the key something that personnel that supervise this project. But the key personnel that do that is the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, who have the qualified personnel to do that. But they do that in conjunction with us.
In addition to the maintenance, NAHCON also plans to construct hotels and ultra-modern hospitals in each Hajj camp nationwide.
We have prototypes of 2 projects. That is the hotel-like accommodation and the clinics. So virtually, I think as time goes on, most of the Hajj camps across the country are in need of these 2 facilities. That is the clinic and the prototype accommodation. So I think as time goes on, all the Hajj camps across the country will benefit from such structures.
So far, work is in progress at the various Hajj camps across Nigeria. Some of the places are Adamawa State, Kaduna State, Kano State, Lagos State, Sokoto State, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Priority attention is given to the peculiar need of states where work is already underway at the Hajj camps. NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar Mohammed, alongside other key officials of the Commission, have visited some of the states to inspect the level of work on these projects. While at the FCT Hajj camp, which is being used by pilgrims from Abuja, Kogi and Nasarawa states, the chairman inspected facilities such as conference hall and many more.
They came to my camp before we depart last Hajj. They assessed it with a view to improving that one. In addition to that, they have their facility at Basanjua. Again, that facility belongs to National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, which by extension, if it's been developed, is also going to be used by the FCT's departure center pilgrims that are going to depart through here.
This is the Kano State Hajj camp, where NAHCON is also working to upgrade its facilities. These include the construction of a hospital, hotel, and mosque, among others. The Executive Secretary of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Muhammad Abba Dambata, took officials of National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, led by its chairman, Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar Mohammed, on an inspection tour of the Hajj camp. During the visit, the NAHCON chairman met with officials of the Kano State Pilgrims Board and other stakeholders. He informed them that the idea of constructing hotels similar to the ones in Saudi Arabia is to get them acquainted with the modern facilities even before they traveled out. He spoke in Hausa.
Wanda akalla zai iya daukar kusan mutum 400 zuwa 500 a lokaci guda. Kuma tsarin hotel din shine kamar yadda tsarin hotel din da alhazai suke sauka idan sun tafi Saudi Arabia.
Similarly, Work on the same type of projects are being carried out at the Kaduna State Hajj camp. The projects, which are being undertaken in phases, include the construction of a hotel, clinic, and renovation of a mosque and building of toilets. NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar Mohammed also visited the camp to assess the level of work done. He was led by the overseer of Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Imam Hussein Isuhu Ikara.
As the outcome of the visit of the National Hajj Commission Chairman to inspect the ongoing development project of the camps all over Nigeria, which Kaduna is one of the camps that will be developed. And this development is out of the development levy that pilgrims are paying every year. And alhamdulillah, we were duly informed that there are 4 major projects on this Hajj camp.
While inspecting work at the Lagos State Hajj camp, the NAHCON chairman expressed satisfaction with the level of work. He praised officers in the zone for their diligence and urged them not to relent in their efforts. The successes recorded in utilizing the Hajj Development Levy Fund is gradually making Hajj operations independent of government funding, and that's what NAHCON seeks to achieve in the foreseeable future.
For instance, for the halls, usually the Hajj camps are located in communities. So communities nearby, after the Hajj activities, communities nearby can use the hall, but not free of charge. Of course, we are going to collect some money, so it's a kind of something that will generate revenue for the commission. Dito the clinic. The clinic, after the Hajj season, will serve the community. Of course, there will be payment, a little token from them, and it's like a sadaqatul jariyah for all of us, especially the pilgrims that have contributed money in the building of those things. The hotel accommodation is something during the Hajj activity. We're not going to charge any pilgrim any kobo. They're going to stay there. It will be very comfortable. Just they are going to be done in such a way that just like what they experienced in Mecca and Medina. They will come around. They will stay in maybe in 4 or 5 numbers per room. Then after the Hajj activities, it will be converted into a hotel where you will have maybe a bed or 2 in one room, and people will come and pay, and then money is generated for us.
الله ربنا هو الإله له من الأسماء ما اصطفاه الواحد الحي كذا المليك.
Welcome to the quiz segment. Our question last week was, what are the 4 pillars of Hajj? The correct answer is Ihram or declaration of intention, Tawaf or circumambulation of the Kaaba, staying at the plains of Arafat, and walk between the 2 mountains of Safa and Marwa. The winner of last week's quiz is Adegoke Bashir Adebisi of Nigerian Air Force Base, Ikeja, Lagos State. He provided the answer ahead of others. Adegoke Bashir Adebisi will be contacted on how NAHCON will get his prize across to him. For this week, the question is, what is a miqat? I repeat, what is a miqat? Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing.
الله ربنا هو الإله. إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لك لبيك.
Pilgrims commit certain mistakes while performing the Hajj or Umrah, and this may cost them their pilgrimage. They may also be forced to make expiations by slaughtering animals to remedy the mistakes.
Which is a mistake that pilgrims should not do.
Sheikh Husseini Zakaria highlights some of these mistakes often committed in the course of Umrah or Hajj, particularly when performing Tawaf or circumambulation of the Kaaba.
Tawaf, which is very, very important, which is the second aspect of Hajj after the intention at the miqat. that as soon as we enter the Kaaba, we enter the Masjid al-Kaaba, Masjid al-Haram, you go straight to the Hajj al-Aswad. Hajj al-Aswad is the place where the tawaf is to begin. If you start your tawaf before the Hajj al-Aswad, that's a mistake. That's mistake number one. Some people will start their tawaf as soon as they enter the Kaaba. This is wrong. So don't start your tawaf until and unless you went to directly at the line which has been marked either by the light, the green light at the walls of the Kaaba, or by the black line or brown line on the floor of the Kaaba.
Forcing or throwing oneself onto the crowd in order to touch Hajar al-Aswad or the black stone at the Kaaba is wrong and should be avoided.
Insisting that you must kiss the Hajar al-Aswad or you touch it, despite the fact that you will inflict injuries on the pilgrims, that's a mistake. And that mistake is also costly because it's haram to inflict injuries on the pilgrims while you are trying to achieve one aspect of the Hajj.
Failure to expose the right shoulder and jogging in the first 3 rounds of Tawaful Ifada and Tawaful Qudum is a mistake.
If you are a male pilgrim, always start your tawaf. If it is Tawaful Qudum or Tawaful Umrah, that Tawaful Qudum means the first tawaf you do on arrival at Hajj. You begin with the trotting, with the jogging, by opening the right shoulder of your gap. Even if there's no enough space for you to trot, just trot in one place. The first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. After that, you cover your shoulder with the gap, and then you continue the remaining 4 parts of the phase with qadram. Now, not doing the raml, not doing the jogging is a mistake, and not covering after the third run of the tawaf is also another mistake.
Pushing people during tawaf is another major mistake committed by pilgrims.
Also pushing the people in front of you, disregarding whether they are men or they are women or they are aged or they are children, is also another act that is mistake. And while do not go around the Kaaba, do not make the tawaf inside the Hajar Ismail, the dwarf, the small dwarf, the small wall, the dwarf wall around the Kaaba. Do not go inside it, always go outside it. And don't touch it. Don't touch it with the intention of being blessed by touching them.
Pilgrims must avoid doing anything that obstructs the movement of other pilgrims during tawaf.
Insisting that you must pray in front of the door of the Kaaba, despite the fact that you will disturb the passage of the crowd, you will cause confusion and it will cause also stagnation of the flow of the pilgrims. It's also a mistake that you should not dare to do it, because you will cause injuries to your fellow pilgrims.
While making supplications, pilgrims should not be too loud.
Do not shout rehearsing a particular prayer while at the hearings and disturbing of everybody. No, do it to Allah. He listens, he understands what you say, he listens to what you say, despite the fact that even if you say that as low as is possible. So don't disturb other people while they are saying or rehearsing their own prayers.
Though there is no particular supplication that is compulsory for pilgrims, there is, however, a particular one recommended for pilgrims, especially when they get to a point called Rukn al-Yaman during the circumambulation of the Kaaba.
Another mistake which the pilgrims also make is where the pilgrims will not recite Rabbana Atina Fid Dunya Hasana between the Rukn al-Yamani and the Hajar al-Aswad. The Prophet used to do that. Apart from the prayers he will say between Hajar al-Aswad to Rukn al-Yamani. As soon as he reaches the Rukn al-Yamani, he will say, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. This will do this until he reaches Hajar al-Aswad. Then he will say, Allahu Akbar, touch the Kaaba, touch the Hajar al-Aswad if he can, or kiss it, or touch it with the stick, or whatever.
Sheikh Zakaria urged pilgrims to always seek the knowledge of Hajj and Umrah rites before embarking on the journey.
الله ربنا هو الإله له من الأسماء ما اصطفاه الواحد الحي كذا المليك.
How can I identify an approved tour operator when registering for Umrah?
To identify an approved company for Umrah, the authority to organize Umrah is the NAHCON license granted by the Commission for such a company to organize Umrah. So once you enter any office and this authority, this license is not there, definitely the company is not allowed to organize Umrah, because we have mandated it for all NAHCON licensed companies to display their license in their offices. So that is one. Two, the issue of NAHCON licensed company is being displayed on our website, and this list is being updated every month. Once you go to our website, you check, you see the list of accredited companies for Umrah there, and the last one is the publication in the national dailies.